Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Cultural Diplomacy podcast. Today we will discuss about Austria. Diplomatic relations between Austria and Romania were established in 1878, temporarily interrupted during the two world wars, and have significantly intensified after 1989 with the new chapter of dynamic cooperation within the broader European context. Structured as a parliamentary democracy, the country is made up of 9 distinctive federal states, each with its own identity, yet all united under a shared commitment to progress and tradition. When we think of Austria, we think of elegance and grandeur, a country in the heart of Europe where imperial history meets alpine beauty and where every street corner seems to echo with the music of Mozart or Strauss. But beyond the waltzes and the palaces, Austria is a modern, innovative nation, home to world-class education, cutting-edge technology, one of Europe's most resilient economies. Austria is a country that treasures its cultural heritage while embracing the challenges of the future. Today, we have the great honor of welcoming Her Excellency Mrs. Ulla Krauss Nussbaumer, the Ambassador of Austria to Romania, to explore with us the layers of Austrian identity from its rich cultural soul to its vital economic partnerships. Welcome to a journey into the heart of Austria. Hello and welcome. Thank you for accepting our invitation to be part of our podcast community and also for hosting us at the residence of the embassy.
I'm very, very happy that you are here and that I can welcome you here in the Austrian embassy, in the Austrian residence, which is actually at the same address. So welcome to you.
Thank you so much. I will start with the questions about history, culture and traditions. So Austria lies in the heart of Europe, which it has a rich history shaped by its imperial past and Central European heritage. How has this complex past influenced Austria's cultural identity?
First of all, allow me to thank you for being on your podcast, which is a very famous podcast.
Thank you.
So I'm very honored to be part of it, and I'm very much looking forward to our talk. Yes, Austrians' cultural history is very, very rich, and one of the main elements of its heritage is its multiculturalism. So the living together of many ethnies over centuries has shaped our cultural past and also our cultural presence, and actually is the fundament for the richness of Austria's culture. Specifically, you can see that when it comes to Austrian Viennese culture around the last century, where Vienna is very famous for, but it still enriches. And actually, Romania is another good example how the richness of different ethnicities and cultures enrich culture and the whole country, not only in the past but also in the present. So we are both in very good companies of many, many different cultures who live in our countries and who lived in our countries.
Definitely.
Culture for Austria, it's kind of an integral part of our DNA. Diverse cultures and different cultures, and being in the center of Europe, having been in the center of Europe, we were always enriched by different cultures, and in the past, Austria has been like a small European Union on its own. And so this common European background is actually a very important background for us today, for all of us today. So the cultural background we have in Europe together is the backbone also for our future together.
Austria also has remarkable cultural legacy, especially in music and arts. Has been home for world-renowned composers like Mozart, Beethoven, Strauss, Klimt also in arts. How does the country preserve and promote on international stage the heritage of these iconic personalities?
Yes, Austria has been, and specifically Vienna has been home to many important artists, and you mentioned Mozart and
Yes.
Beethoven, who actually was German but moved to Vienna
Yes.
and wrote all his important pieces in Vienna. And Strauss, whose 200th birthday we have this year. And many very known artists like Klimt and Schiele, who are known all over the world. And actually, they don't need us any longer because they sell by themselves. So Schiele actually was not sold during his lifetime, but now he sells by himself. So Austria is also very strongly promoting the living and the not so well-known artists. And I believe this is a very, very important goal and something really we can be proud of, that we try to promote them. This is one thing. The other thing is that the very famous artists sell themselves, but there's a lot of culture and art which to the young generation doesn't appeal any longer. So it's also our duty to try to bring them to our days, to make them speak to the heart of the young people now, and to bring, to make the young people in public understand that actually there is something in there for them. So actually we did 2 weeks ago, 200 years of Johann Strauss might seem quite of an old-fashioned thing to celebrate, with waltzes and polkas, and so everybody loves them, but still to a young public it might not appeal. Austria in general tries to showcase and put the focus specifically also on young artists, and to help them to present themselves. And actually the Austrian Cultural Forum around the world and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in particular, we have created specific programs in regarding music, regarding literature, to promote young artists. So in music it's called 𝐬𝐻𝑍𝐼, where young musicians are chosen in a curated program, and then these young musicians are given the possibility to present their acts all around the world. And we are very, very proud actually in the Foreign Ministry that many of these musicians who
Yes.
were completely unknown when they came into this 𝐬𝐻𝑍𝐼 program now are really world famous musicians in jazz, in pop, in classic, in world music. This shows that the people who chose them have done a really good job at the time then.
Definitely. Also, besides the examples that you mentioned, could you tell us also about some other Austrian tradition or festivals that you believe are central to the national identity?
As I said before, culture in general is kind of at the center of our national identity, but obviously there are some very world famous festivals. during, specifically in summer, all over Austria. So one, maybe the most famous one, are the Salzburger Festspiele, which have been created by Max Reinhardt in the 20s. Nowadays, there are also the Salzburger Festspiele at Pentecoste, so that's just coming up. Then you have the Bregenzer Festspiele, which are specifically opera, and this year's actually the premiere will be of George Enescu's Oedipus. So Romania will be very present at the Bregenzer Festspiele this year. Salzburg is concentrating on opera, but also on screenplays and on the whole area of art in general. Then you have Ars Electronica, who became very, very famous, and they concentrate specifically on digital art. And it's a beautiful festival, and the most beautiful thing is always the opening, because it starts at the Danube, as Linz. Ars Electronica Festival is in Linz, which is on the Danube, and Linz has a strong connection with Constanza. And then there have modern music, digital electro opening on the Danube, but not only for the ear, but also visualized. So each year it's an amazing thing to go to this opening and to be part of it. And the whole festival is a great festival, and it's very, very interesting, all the things you see there. Another festival which is very famous and also tackles rather contemporary art and contemporary writers and music is the Wiener Festwochen. The Wiener Festwochen, who reinvented themselves somehow under Milo Rau, and now since some years they declare kind of the free republic of the Vienna Festwochen each year, to be a forum of discussion, of experimentation, actually, where everybody is free to express, to experiment themselves. And we are very happy that actually in November, Milo Rau, who is the director of the Wiener Festwochen, will come to Bucharest, to Arcub, and for discussions, and maybe if we are lucky next year, he even might present something at the Sibiu Festival in summer next year. So, but there are many others. There are festivals all over Austria, smaller and bigger, but this, I believe, would be the most prominent ones.
Austria has a strong presence in Romania, and not only through cultural diplomacy. What aspects of Austrian tradition or heritage would you like the Romanian public to discover more deeply? And if there are any upcoming cultural events or initiatives planned?
Let me start with the last part of your question. Actually, that's a very tricky one, because there are so many things upcoming that it's really difficult to choose. In 1 year, the Cultural Forum, who is part of the Austrian Embassy and also part of the Foreign Ministry, as I said before, they're roughly doing 170 projects each year in Romania alone, and all over the country.
Yes.
Because it's important not to only be in Bucharest, what is great, but it is always worthwhile going out of the capital, and it's always very enriching to go in all the not only beautiful but also very interesting places you have here in Romania, and you have many of them.
Yes.
And being Austrian, it is always a joy that we can build on our very long, also common history with parts of Romania of today with Transylvania and Banat and so on.
Of course.
But we also can build on a very long history with Romania. So in 3 years' time, we have 150 years of bilateral relations. So this basis actually is wonderful for creating new projects and for communicating and for developing things. Something very important to our heart is as well the cooperation together with the other European cultural institutions here in Bucharest, who partly belong also to the embassies, which is unique. It's the European Union's cultural network.
Yes.
And La Francophonie, which we are part, Austria is part of of the Francophonie, and we are very happy to be able to participate in this context as well. Each year we try to give ourselves a kind of a motto for the year, and this year actually what we concentrated a lot was democracy. So in 𝐬𝐿𝐴, it's very difficult for me always to
𝐬𝐿𝐴,
who they have a wonderful theater with a great director there, always open for new ideas and new endeavors. We are actually doing Democracy is Fun at the Space for Cultural and Youth Projects over there. We have, it's in the pipeline of doing. We have a project coming up together with the museum in Peles, because very few people know that the young Klimt actually was painting together with his brother the murals in Peles Castle. So this is a very nice example, in my opinion, how long our traditions, our common traditions go back. So together with the museum in Peles, we are planning to have a traveling exhibition about these murals, and sponsored by an Austrian bank present here in Romania. And our goal actually is that this travel exhibition does not only travel in Romania, but also will go abroad as a joint project of the Romanian and Austrian embassies in Europe, and who knows, maybe even outside of Europe. So I'm specifically passionate about this one project because it shows how close Austria and Romania has always been. As well as, for example, that Enescu studied for a very long time in Vienna, or I think 4 of your prime ministers went to school in Vienna. So I'm always very curious in discovering all these specific links between our two countries. We will be present at the UNESCO Festival. We are always present at the UNESCO Festival, but this year we are present with a very special piano. It is a Bösendorfer. You know, Bösendorfer is a very renowned piano factory in Vienna, and they have a 𝑽ersacrum piano. So that means 𝑽ersacrum was in the Klimt created murals which were called 𝑽ersacrum, and this piano is painted in this style, and it never traveled abroad, but it will now travel abroad, coming to the UNESCO Festival. So we are very, very thrilled about that, and obviously we will have also Austrian artists performing at the UNESCO Festival. I already told you about the Strauss rave in Sibiu, which will also go in other places, and more kind of scientifically, we also have in 2 weeks' time the presentation of a book about when Johann Strauss traveled to the Banat. And we had it in German, and now it's translated in Romanian. And it's also a nice example of the closeness of our countries.
Your Excellency, what inspired you to pursue a career in diplomacy, and how did your journey begin?
Actually, what me inspired was that I wanted to see the world.
We heard so many stories about love, about so many stories. I'm curious about your story.
Getting out of Vienna was my story, actually.
Okay.
No, I was always interested in seeing new places, new countries, discovering new things, meeting new people. So actually, I would say it was just pure curiosity which made me choose this path. And you know, at that time, possibilities were quite limited because it was long before we became a member of the European Union. So this year we celebrate 30 years of European membership to the European Union, but actually it was long before that time. So, and I was not adventurous enough to say, okay, I take my rucksack and I just storm off somewhere. So still it had to be in a certain context with some security backdrop. But the foreign ministry was actually one of the few possibilities to do that. No, love came later. So it came with a colleague, but then the path was already done.
How was the transition from life in Austria to adapt in?
Very easy. Adapting here in Bucharest was really very easy and very pleasant. And something which is specifically pleasant being here in Bucharest is that the Romanian people are so open, and they welcome you really with an open heart, and they welcome you at your homes and your private homes, so you can connect not only in an official way and at official gatherings, but also on a very personal and private level. And this is very, very unique. This is really very unique, and that makes it so pleasant to be a diplomat on whatever level here in Romania. But being an Austrian diplomat in Bucharest is a specific joy because of our strong relations and connections.
If you hadn't chosen a career in diplomacy, what other profession do you think you would have enjoyed doing?
Maybe being a doctor or a lawyer. Something with some independence.
These two.
And I definitely, if I had chosen that, I definitely then had taken all the opportunities the European Union, the membership to the European Union had given me to also work internationally.
How would you describe a typical work day in your life?
That there is no typical work day. Every day is so different,
okay.
And always bringing new challenges and new joys and new people. So it's really, really difficult to talk about a typical work day. What is very typical is actually that in whatever you do, you always connect a lot with people, and you always learn a lot, and always also something new. So this, I must say, is, I believe, one of the of the biggest pleasure I have in this profession, that you never stop learning. You always see new things, you learn new things, you hear new things, so, and this is incredibly enriching.
What advice you would give to a young person interested in pursuing a career in diplomacy, considering your experience?
Just to stay open, to stay curious, to be flexible. You need quite a lot of flexibility. Yeah, if one is interested also to be kind of the core of the policy shaping, making, and be interested in how things work, not only frontline, but how they're really shaped and how your future is shaped, then that's the right job to do. But first of all, I believe curiosity and flexibility are really very, very important. And wherever they send you, there is always a nice part in every posting. Even if you believe it's a horrible posting, there's a nice part in every posting. You only have to look for it.
Are there any specific exchanges currently taking place between Austria and Romania that you find particularly impactful?
Our whole work here, the whole work of the cultural forum actually is an exchange, because whatever projects we are doing here, and this is maybe very specific for all the 32 Austrian cultural forums we have worldwide, is that whatever project we do, we always do it in partnership with partners in place, and most, sometimes also with European partners, but always with Romanian partners, or in Italy with Italian partners or Mexican partners. But we are always developing our projects together with the local partners. This is actually the core of our work. So exchange for us is just another word for what we are actually doing. But we enhance this exchange with special partnerships with museums, with universities. And one thing I would like to mention, that's a very special thing we only have in few countries. In Romania, we have 4 Austrian libraries, which are integrated in the universities. We have them in Bucharest, in Iași, they just had their 15th birthday, in Timișoara, it was created in '92, and in Cluj. I have not visited Cluj, that's the reason why I forgot it. And we have our somehow Austrian library also in Sibiu. And these are specifically nice examples of a very close partnership, because they're part of the university, they're part of the university library, but they work very closely with us as well. Very specific topics of exchange at the moment are topics connected to climate. For example, we had a very successful exhibition of the region of Lower Austria some months ago, the Climate and I, which travel around in schools, specifically
Yes.
The German schools, the schools of the German minority. We are very closely working together with those schools in every field. And when we have Austrian writers, for example, then we always try that they also have a reading in these schools, because it is always nice if someone from in their mother tongue can read then to pupils, and sometimes it really inspires them then to go writing as well. So we are very happy about this kind of cooperation with the schools and with the universities in every field. But exchange is actually the core of what we are doing here.
Austria is one of the largest foreign investors in Romania. What, in your opinion, are the factors that have contributed to this strong economic partnership?
I believe that once again, it's our common history, which was the basis for that. Because for many Austrian businesses, like Julius Mendel, for example, or Lobmeier, or Wienerberger, there have been in Transylvania, there have been in Banat, there Lobmeier glass, for example, you find in Pellesch Castle.
Yes.
So this region, your country has never been foreign to Austrian businesses. So I believe that this knowledge, and this knowledge did not get lost after 1945. When 1989 arrived, it was for them not like going to a new country, it was rather coming back to where you already have been. So I believe that this is one of the reasons why Austrian businesses also have been kind of the first movers after 1990. Austria is, after Germany, the second biggest investor in Romania. It's almost 14 billion euros. We have around 4,000 businesses or businesses with Austrian money in it. These businesses create over 100,000 jobs in Romania. And actually, what is very interesting with these businesses, not only everybody knows the big ones, everybody knows 𝐂𝐵-Petrom, everybody
Yes.
knows insurances and banks, but actually most of the businesses, the Austrian businesses here in Romania are producing businesses. So really creating a lot of jobs and a lot of wealth and producing in Romania. And what is very specific is that they all reinvest in Romania. So they don't bring the winds out of the countries, it stays in the countries and is reinvested here. And I believe one of the most interesting new investments is obviously Neptune Deep with 𝐂𝐵-Petrom, who is half Romanian, half Austrian, because when it will be finished in 27, Romania will become the biggest gas producer in the whole European Union. So that's really a game changer. So, but there are many businesses in construction, renewable energy. For construction, that's a good example that there was just on the new highway between Sibiu and Bucharest, that just opened the first tunnel through the mountains. It's the Alina tunnel, or the world's biggest solar plant was just opened in April in 𝐇𝐞𝐫 County, also constructed by an Austrian firm, LSG. But there are many small family-run businesses who are here in Romania since many years.
You mentioned some sectors where Austrian companies are most active in Romania. In what other areas do you see potential for growth in future?
Apart from energy and renewable energy, very possibly agriculture, water management, waste management. Not to forget the whole context of smart cities.
Yes.
Like now I was just in Brasov last weekend, the smart city event again, when actually an electro airplane from Linz then ended up flew to Brasov. So and the whole space of cybersecurity. And not only cybersecurity, but digital in general. And here Romania will definitely play a very big role, being now the center of the EU or EU cybersecurity policy with the EU agency for cybersecurity here in Bucharest. So, and that might be possibly the main parts of tourism. Tourism is sustainable tourism. First of all, also could become a very interesting field of cooperation. There was just a very interesting conference organized by the Romanian embassy in Vienna on ecotourism and sustainable tourism, and we will follow this up in some months here for exchanging the experiences and learning from one another. So, and many more fields.
SMEs are often the backbone of national economies. What opportunity exists for collaboration between Austrian and Romania SMEs?
Like Romania, Austria is an SME country, actually. One always talks about the big ones, but the dominant force of Austrian economy and Austrian wealth are SMEs, and specifically family-run SMEs. So more than 2 million people in Austria are employed in SMEs. And for an example here in Romania is, for example, that an Austrian manufacturer of building materials started in 2004 with his first greenfield investment, and now he has 5 operating production plants and still wanting to expand, and until now he invested over 150 million euros. So this is a very nice example. The European Union gives us a lot of programs enhancing cooperation, specifically in the interesting field of renewables and energy and resilience, which becomes also more and more important. There's one specific program of the European Union, and that would be the one for the Danube region, because let's not forget we are on the same river.
Yes.
And this river always was a lifeline for everybody on this river, and when it comes to transportation, and it is a very essential part and can develop into a very essential part of our economy. And Austria and Romania actually are very active in bringing this European Danube strategy into life and to use again. So that would be a very good European strategy where we can work together even more. But then there are many programs on EU level who tackle specifically IT, energy, solar, digital,
yes.
and these are all fields where specifically SMEs can profit, and they do profit actually. So, and it would be lovely if we could organize one day kind of a SME get-together of the companies in this field.
It would be nice, definitely. Your Excellency, thank you once again for accepting our invitation. Today's conversation has taken us on a journey, I will say, through Austria's rich cultural heritage, tradition, and its dynamic contributions to global culture. And thank you also for the vital role you are playing in nurturing this multi-dimensional relationship.
Thank you very much for coming and for having me on your program. It was a great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much.
An honor for us. May today's conversation inspire you a deeper appreciation for the power of diplomacy Thank you again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Cătălina Damian, and see you next time.